But fellas, the schedule, NFL schedule. What are your thoughts about the NFL schedule? Particularly the season opener between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Champ, you talked about the Dallas Cowboys, and I told you before, man, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys having the season opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I'm being straight honest. Here's why.
You always been on.
Number one, I get it that it's Dallas. Whether we like it or not, they are still America's team. They're still the most marketable, lucrative team, not just in football, but in all of sports. The ratings, the revenue, the money, everything that comes along with the Dallas Cowboys. I also understand it's their arch rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. However, I would like to see somebody else face the Philadelphia Eagles. And I feel, and yes, Dallas Cowboys, they've made a lot of news in the offseason. Of course, the George Pickens trade. Now that they added another number 2 wide receiver for Dak Prescott. Now, whether Dallas or Pittsburgh who won the trade, to me, I still think Pittsburgh won that trade because if you kept him in Pittsburgh with DK Metcalf, two emotional guys, champ, and plus we talked about Aaron Rodgers, whether they're going to bring in Aaron Rodgers, all hell's going to break loose. Mm-hmm. So him in Dallas, yeah, they have another number 2 wide receiver, but George Pickens is not known for running routes as precise, not running precise routes. He's a big physical guy. He can make excellent catches over DBs. But as far as the route running is concerned, I'm not really all that impressed with. You look at Dak Prescott. Last year, he missed most of the season because of the hamstring injury. He got his contract again. So what type of Dak Prescott we are going to see? Micah Parsons. He's from Pennsylvania. After all, he played football at the University of Penn State. And he's going to get his money eventually. So I believe with the Dallas Cowboys, and also too, let's not forget, new head coach Mike McCarthy's no longer there anymore. Why is it that Brian Schottenheimer is the head coach? Well, because the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy failed to reach a deal. Now with Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach, remember he was the former offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Jerry, it's obvious. I'm sorry to Brian Schottenheimer, but he's gonna use you as a puppet. He did it with Jason Garrett, and he did it with Mike McCarthy. What difference would it make if he put it on Brian Schottenheimer? The thing I don't like about it, champ, is once again, Dallas Cowboys getting the attention. And again, it should be about winning. I would love to see the Eagles face the Rams or the Commanders. Fine, the Commanders. Okay, they were awful in the NFC Championship game. They got blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me remind folks that the Commanders, it was their first time since 1991 they made it to the conference championship game with a rookie quarterback, 30th in the NFL in stopping the run. You were playing with house money. You've never been in a stage of that magnitude since 1991. You look at Washington. Have they not made some moves in the offseason? Not just with the Deebo Samuel trade, but they also got in Laramie Tunsil. As you've said it before, champ, quarterback cannot throw behind his back. They also added the offensive line from Oregon. They've had a really solid draft class. You look at the Rams. That was the team of all the teams that the Eagles faced come postseason that gave the Eagles the toughest test. So imagine in the season opener, and again, Matthew Stafford doesn't have the greatest record in the world when it comes to rain or snow. Imagine if he played in good weather against the Eagles in the season opener. So I feel like there are other teams that could have been taken into consideration for the season opener, champ. With the Dallas Cowboys, and I've said it and I'll say it before, man, at some point in time, we're going to have to stop rewarding mediocrity. And look at the fact that Jerry, it's been 30 years now. You're still going to continuously hire head coaches that you like, and you're going to use them as a puppet. And again, I'm sorry to Mama Champ, Mama Champ, and also Sister Champ, but them Dallas Cowboys, them Dallas Cowboys, they still getting their attention. And the thing is, champ, what's so ironic, all three of the teams, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders, all three of them have been to an NFC championship game recently than the Cowboys. And the 2/3 of their teams, the Eagles and the Giants, have won Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowls in the 21st century.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, look, I compare. Look, I am not a Dallas Cowboy fan. I love Mom. I watch the Cowboys, so she won't have to watch them every single Sunday. So every single Sunday, yeah. Because at one point she was getting mad as hell at the Cowboys. It's a long story. So now I watch them, so she doesn't have to because she has to work on Sunday. So I watch the Cowboys. So when the Falcons on, I got to keep that game on my computer so I can watch, see what's going on. And when the game go off, I got to call her and tell her, hey, y'all won today. And when she wins, you can hear her scream on the phone. When they lose, she say, oh, you know what? And then she hangs up the phone. So it's out to Mom. Look, it's not a look. At the end of the day, do I like the Cowboys? No, indeed not. Do I feel the same way as you do, PSP? Yes, I do. Do it? Should the attention go on someone else? Yes. But
I understand, champ, why they're gonna get it.
Yeah, it's all about look. When you trout Kim Kardashian out to a fashion show, it's gonna sell, and that's what it is. You have to put what sells on television. And right now, look, everybody is hyped. You can bet. Look, I hate to say this, but look, if the Dallas Cowboys go 4-0 to start the season, you're gonna start hearing about we them boys. Now, like I said earlier, it's already been a big year for Dallas. They had one of the best drafts in the NFL, whether we like it or not. Then you turn around and you grab George Pickens to go out. I mean, people was expecting you to go get Amari Cooper, go get one of these utility receivers. No, you turn around and get a superstar in the form of George Pickens to pair along with CeeDee Lamb to an already solid receiving core. So here's what's going to start. Oh my God, Super Bowl aspirations. Even though we know you're going to get to like the first or second round and it's going to be a dud, but it's going to start something. It's going to start something. So the thing is, of course, as a person who is a football savant, do I agree? Put the Commanders on TV with the Philadelphia Eagles. Do I agree? Yes, indeed, wholeheartedly. But as a businessman, look, business is always good when you try out the star attraction. And the star attraction of the NFL, unfortunately, is the Dallas Cowboys. And guess what? With them making the moves that they made during the offseason, not to mention I have made the campaign for them to call up Cleveland and get my Georgia Bulldog, Nick Chubb, from them to see what they can do along with the two backs that they've already drafted. I have made that campaign to say, hey, go get Nick Chubb while you at it to show everybody that because you don't really have a lot of running backs at your disposal at this point, except the two that you drafted. But yeah, it's gonna start a conversation. And guess what? Everybody, look, don't let the Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles on that opening game. Or like I said, don't let them go 4-0 during the course of the season, especially if Dak is playing lights out. Because everybody's going to start saying we them boys once again. You're going to start hearing about shades of Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin. You're going to start hearing it. And so, yeah, it's like I said, the attraction is always going to win out. Yes, I always say this. The other girl that you might choose might be better. But guess what? That arm candy is always going to get the most attention. You might like Lizzo, and she looks great. But when you go to a party with Kim Kardashian, that's going to automatically bring eyeballs to you and her. Because they're going to want to know who you are, not to mention why she here with you. That effect may not have the same thing if you are with Lizzo or even Jill Scott, which I love Jill Scott, by the way. Shout out to you. But that might not have that effect. That paparazzi effect may not be the same if you are with a Jill Scott or a Lizzo. It may not be the same. But when you try it out with Kim Kardashian, who is the Dallas Cowboys, because they are the Kardashians of the NFL with all the drama, all the paparazzi, with Jerry Jones being the Caitlyn Jenner, the Kris Jenner that he is, always wanting the attention. He's gonna be. It's the attraction. They are the star attraction of the NFL, and that's who you're gonna try it out. Like I said, in every fashion show, you're gonna try out Kim Kardashian. Why? She's an attraction. She's an attractive woman. Like I said, would I take Jill Scott or Lizzo over her? Of course I would. Me being the man I am, yes. But guess what? If you walk into that party with a Kardashian, that being the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to automatically draw eyebrows, especially when you bring in a player as volatile and as talented as a George Pickens to pair him with an all-pro who nearly won a Triple Crown championship like a CD Lamb. It's going to bring some eyebrows. So, yeah, look, people are already starting to say, hey, our receiving core with George Pickens and CD Lamb, that's on par with the Philadelphia Eagles. All we need is a running game. And don't let them get Nick Chubbs and him start running like a deer through the backwoods of Georgia. Don't let them get him, and then he gets like 400 yards during the first 2 games. You're gonna start here. Oh, now we evenly matched with the Eagles. We can surpass y'all. That's what gets conversations going.
Not to mention, Chip, you forgot something.
Yeah,
this could also elevate Brian Schottenheimer for Coach of the Year if the Cowboys actually make a run.
Yeah, and
because again,
Brian Schottenheimer. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Brian Schottenheimer brought out the best in that offense. When you talk about the New York Jets with that Mark Sanchez offense, he brought out the best in that team. So that team was I think it was top 10 offense when he was there. So that's with them running, and that's what put them running the ball.
Yeah, so, they had Thomas Jones, and they also had Sean Green.
Yeah, Sean Green, Thomas, yeah. So, yeah, he was able to bring the best out. So, he ain't no spring chicken. Not to mention, look, you know who his dad is, right?
We all know Marty Schottenheimer.
So, guess what? Although he's not a big name coach, neither was his father at the beginning. But he has that coaching pedigree because he is a Schottenheimer, and he's a hell of a coach. And he's an offensive-minded coach as well. He's not a defensive-minded coach that his old man was. God rest Marty Schottenheimer's soul. So, and with this offense, you're going to see a lot of wide open things with this offense. And like I said, this game right here, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to get the hot take going on these sports shows. It's going to get us to talking when it comes around, especially if Dallas Cowboys is to go out there and blow them out, which I doubt will happen. It's going to get a lot of conversations going as far as early reactions are going. And that's what the NFL is hoping for. Them, the defending champions, going up against their division rivals after they just had one of the best off seasons in the NFL outside of maybe my Atlanta Falcons and the Baltimore Ravens. And if they go out there and beat the Philadelphia Eagles the first game, and that's a huge if, it's going to get conversations to talking. It's going to get everybody's ears running. And it's going to get people all over the world. Oh, Super Bowl. We just beat the Super Bowl champions. I think we done caught up to them now. That's what get conversation. It's more to get a conversation started more than anything. It's kind of like, it's kind of like you bringing that one guy to a party knowing he finna start some crap. I bought him here for him to make a spectacle of himself. Because I know it's going to get people to talking. That's what the NFL does with the Dallas Cowboys. Whether they're good or bad, they're going to get somebody to talking. So guess what? And it's not really, and the thing is, that regular season game, nothing that they do in the regular season is really going to matter until they reach the playoffs and prove that they can get past the second round. So this is just a conversation starter that we're having with the Eagles and the Cowboys at the beginning. It's just to get, they put them out there purposely to get conversation started, to just bring in football with a bang. And
in other words, it's orchestrated for hot takes.
Yes. Why wouldn't I do that? If I'm a businessman. Why wouldn't I do that? It's gonna get Stephen A. to talking about them boys. It's gonna bring the celebrities out talking about them boys. What y'all gonna do this year now that y'all got George Pickens? Y'all just had a hell of a draft. And like I said, I'm hoping that they go get Nick Chubb just so he can prove I can come back from that injury once again.
But what if the Dallas Cowboys champ struggle? And what if Jerry Jones still continuously does Jerry Jones things, which is telling people, hey, the buck stops with me? Do you really think, even though he's Brian Schottenheimer, the son of Mark Schottenheimer, do you really think Jerry Jones is going to allow him to do his job? Because that's the thing with Jerry.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if they struggle, it's a conversation starter. The thing is, no matter what goes on in the media with the Dallas Cowboys, whether they suck or whether they are good, we're going to talk about them.
I get that, Chip, because America's team. I mean, they're not just any team; they're America's team.
Yeah, and like I said, that Jerry factor as well. I mean, guess what? That Jerry factor as well.
So press conferences.
It's gonna get look. I did, like I said, if I was the NFL, I did this. Excuse me, saying it. I did this just to start some shit. I did this just to start some shit. I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champions, versus their division rival, knowing they just had one of the greatest off seasons probably in their history. And then I'm going to trot them out there with George Pickens, and everybody's going to start talking. Everybody already started running their mouths about Super Bowl aspirations. Guess what? I got my viewership right where I want. And if a lot more leagues did this, then they would be wonderful. I campaign for the WNBA to do that. Put your star attractions on and make sure they stay on. And guess what? It's going to attract a lot of viewers. I did this just to start something. All them hot takes that we talk about, all these Super Bowl aspirations, them being America's team, is this the year for Dak? Is it do or die for Dak? Is it do or die for Brian Schottenheimer? Is it now or never for this team? All that is going to start immediately after that game is over, if it doesn't start before the season starts. And we finna hear all of it. And the craziest thing about it, we got like 2 months and 15 days before that start happening, because the preseason starts on July the 31st. We ain't got long before those conversations start. So people are going to start talking about that almost immediately. And quite frankly, I'm here for it as a fan and a businessman. Try them on out there. Get everybody talking. Let's do it. Because when they get blown out, we're going to still be talking about them.
No, this is what now I'm noticing from Chef. He's becoming like the NFL version of Don King. He just wants to promote only in America. Only in America.
Hey, I used to look, shout out to my guy, C. Reed, C100, my best friend back home, him and Calvin. I used to promote clubs. And the thing is, it's all about.
I don't blame you, Chip.
I used to promote clubs with my guys. We used to go out, pass out flyers. But guess what? You have to look, when you have a star attraction, like a Dallas Cowboys, where that star on your helmet is going to attract so many viewers. And like I said, now that you have a George Pickens, all of these talks about Super Bowl aspirations, it being now that Dak has no excuses. Because you got to think about this. What if they get this team together and they go 5-12? Are they talking about getting Drew Allard next year? Are they talking about getting Archie Manning next year? Because the thing is, hey, I know it's early, but the thing is, if they go 5-12 this year, even with George Pickens at the helm, Archie Manning, the big Archie Manning, I will say, the big man himself already said, I'd love to see him at the Cowboys. And he's already in Texas. They already got national championship and Heisman aspiration for him in Texas. One of the most storied college football programs in the league. You don't think that's going to get anything started about how Dak is on borrowed time in Dallas? It's so many conversations that are going to come from that one game alone. It's so many. And guess what? Like I said, I'm all for it. Let's promote the product. Then the thing is, unlike football, unlike every other sport, football pretty much sells itself because of the superstars that it has and the hot takes that guys like you yourself make, PSP, guys like, BRF makes. Because guess what? We're going to put the verdict out probably before some of these major stations is. And we're going to put the verdict out. And by the time they catch up with what we're saying, now the masses are gonna catch up. It's gonna get so much stuff started in just 1 week. Is that, and like I said, your star attraction has to, when your star attraction, like a Dallas team, has that power, that star power, and has the superstars now to bring that kind of news. Why not trot them on out, man? Like I said, you're gonna get a lot of attention if you bring Jill Scott into that room, of course, but you're gonna get a hell of a lot more if you bring Kim Kardashian in there, and that's just the bottom line.
BRF.
Okay, so let me just say, all right, I completely Champ make a lot of good points because I mean Dallas Cowboys are a conversation starter. I mean that's what they are. They are like, I don't know. They're like a, for some reason they're like the headline. It's just like it doesn't matter how good they're doing. It doesn't matter whether they're a good team, bad team. It really doesn't matter. They're always in the midst of everything. And I mean, they've had a great off season. I mean, they got George Pickens. They had a heck of a draft. But let me tell you something. The way I feel about the Dallas Cowboys, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, we do not care. We don't care. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like I mean, yeah. I mean, who you stopping? I mean, who are you still stopping on the defensive side of the ball? Who you stopping? That's all I want to know. Because I mean, last year you could barely stop a nosebleed. You didn't really do a whole lot to improve the defense. So, in my opinion, I still don't think you're really going to be able to stop too much coming into this year. There's a clip that's going around of I think it was like that trip. It was like that Dubai trip. It was like Michael Parsons and Bijan Robinson and Justin Fields, and I think it was Kyle Pitts. And there's video
In
going
Dubai.
around. It's like, yeah, in Dubai, yeah. Michael Parsons is holding the Falcon, and he's rubbing the Falcons, and Bijan Robinson is like standing right there. And Michael Parsons tried to get slick. He's like, owning the Falcons as always. And then Bijan Robinson, being the absolute king that he is. So what was the score like this year? And then they showed the clip. They showed the little screen, the little Google score. Falcons beat them this year. And Michael Parsons was like, well, I didn't play. And Bijan said one of the greatest lines. He said, it wouldn't have mattered. You just would have been a guy out there having fun. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. Until the Dallas Cowboys actually show me something and show that they're going to contend and want us to take them seriously, I don't give a half a damn. I just don't. I don't. I don't. I've barely given a quarter damn about the Dallas Cowboys the last couple of seasons because it's like they show up in spurts, but when it really matters, they shrivel like prunes when it matters. So I don't care. I do not care. I am one of those. I don't care. Yes, I get they're a conversation starter. I get they are one of those teams that are going to find themselves as the talk of the league. But guess what? You know what? I'm one of those that are like, if we can have shows without talking about the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to moan. If anything, bro, if we had shows not talking about the Dallas Cowboys, PSP, if I had some decent run on homeboy, I'd drink with you in celebration. If we had shows not talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't care.
Only when they're
I
relevant.
do not care. Oh,
When they're relevant,
exactly. Like when they do something, if they start like 5-2 this season, okay, we can talk business. We can have a conversation. But if they start like 2-5, don't hit me with this. Oh my gosh, is it do or die for Dak Prescott? What are the Cowboys gonna do? What does this mean for Brian Schottenheimer? I don't give a damn. I mean, what? Okay, like this has pretty much been the norm as of late. Oh my gosh, y'all coming up with all these news stories like it's supposed to mean something. I don't care. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
and they better be
good
careful
gracious.
because again, Washington, even though Dallas Cowboys champ, you mentioned that they've had a heck of an offseason. Let's not discount Washington and let's not discount the New York Giants. So with Dallas,
I'm discounting the Dallas. I'm discounting the Dallas Cowboys more than the other two teams. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sick of talking about them. It's like Dallas Cowboys this and Dallas Cowboy that, and I'm like bruh, like
well,
win
we know
something.
they're gonna get the
Like
attention. Well, we know they're gonna get the attention because after all, America's team. Actually, they're second in the NFL as far as nationally televised games. Kansas City, they have the most, I think, with 7. Dallas has 6.
and you and
Washington
you
has
and you and you and you know what they're first in? They are first in lack of NFC Championship game appearances since 1996.
I just mentioned that BRF. I just said all 3 of the teams in the NFC East have recently made it to a conference championship game. But I can also understand from Champ's standpoint. Champ understands where I'm coming from. Yes, there should have been other teams that may not have the name, the brand like the Dallas Cowboys have, but deserve to be in the conversation based on meritocracy. But Champ is looking at it from a business standpoint. Yes, he mentioned Kim Kardashian. You can mention Beyonce, even though there are other singers that I want to listen to that may not be the big names, but at the same time, it starts and it ends with the huge moneymakers. Whether if it's a Kim Kardashian, a Beyonce, whoever you can possibly think of, it starts and ends with them. Go ahead, BRF.
That and no, I just want to say that NFC stat, the NFC East stat about the teams making it to, that's not even my favorite NFC Championship game stat since 1996. Every NFC team, not just East, every NFC conference team has been to at least one NFC championship game except the Dallas Cowboys since 1996.
Wow, I
Every
didn't know.
NFC in every
That is true.
NFC team, every NFC team, that's every team in the NFC West, every team in the South, every team in the North, every team in the East except the Dallas Cowboys have all been to at least one NFC championship game since the last time the Dallas Cowboys have been. It's like you bring up the Kim Kardashian thing, and it's like, and I get where you coming from. It's like we gonna look at the eye candy. You know how I treat it as? You see the couple coming up in the club, and it's somebody, and it's Kim Kardashian, and they having fun at the moment. But you know what? In the back of your mind, everybody in the back talking, how long they gonna make it? How long they gonna last? That would be the Dallas Cowboys if they started 3-1. Is this really gonna last? Are they really gonna keep this going? Is this for real? Are they for real? That's how I look at a relationship right now with Kim Kardashian. Are they for real? Like, are they really gonna last that long? Like, should we really take them serious? That's where I'm at with the Dallas Cowboys. Like, if they start off good, and it's not just the offense clicking. I want to see what the defense does. I want to see if the defense can get pass rush outside of Micah Parsons. I want to see if Trayvon Diggs is gonna, when he gets back, is gonna be more than a one season wonder, which right now is pretty much what he is a one season wonder that year with the 11 interceptions. He's a one season wonder. Granted, they got the what's the I can't think of the young linebacker's name, but he's like a stud. Like he came into his own like the last few games of last season. So maybe they might have something with him, but it's like you gotta show me some consistency. If we gonna be talking about you and we're gonna like your name coming out of our mouths without feeling like we're gonna throw up, saying the Dallas Cowboys, you got to show me something. Like, you got to be consistent on offense, and you got to actually have to show me that you're not a front running defense, that you can actually stop people when the games are close, and not just being able to get pass rush and get to the quarterback when it's 35-10 and the other team has no choice but to throw the ball, and then the Dallas Cowboys can just pin their ears back and rush the quarterback because they know at the end of the day they don't have to worry about playing the run. They can just worry about getting to the quarterback because we know they can't stop the run to save their life. So I need consistency from them if they're going to warrant us talking about them consistently and being a relevant franchise do more for me than just be the marquee on the poster saying that you got the marquee game this week, because I don't give a damn about your marquee game if you're gonna get blow out like the Thursday night game. Philadelphia Eagles take them boy behind the woodshed. I'm just gonna be looking at it like, yeah, like y'all didn't see this coming. This is Dallas Cowboys This is Dallas Cowboys we talking about. They look
But
like
people would love to
Tarzan and
see that.
they look like Tarzan and they play like Jane. This is the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what we talking about.
But people would love to see that BRF because again, when they see the Dallas Cowboys with their mishaps or whatever, we want to talk about it. Heck, Chip, BRF, and we want to laugh at the Dallas Cowboys when they screwing it up.
I mean, yes, absolutely. We definitely do want to laugh at them, but it's like it's sad that they've been reduced to that because they are a storied franchise, and it's just sad that they've been reduced to that. But you know what? It's their
But
own
that's on
doing.
Jerry. But that's Jerry. I've said
Exactly.
it before. The worst thing that ever happened to the Dallas Cowboys and Chip. I've been consistent on this.
Yes,
When
you
they
have.
fired Jimmy Johnson and they won the Super Bowl with Barry Switzer, that gave Jerry the validation.
Agreed.
That gave Jerry the validation. I don't need a great head coach. I don't need a great GM. I can do things my way. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And he has been doing it for 30 years now, almost 30 years now, and still no conference championship appearances. Forget winning a Super Bowl or going to a Super Bowl, not even one conference championship game. And they've had numerous chances to at least get to multiple. So that's the thing. I mean, with Jerry's going to have to figure out what he's going to have to do. BRF will be right back. He said you got to take care of some stuff. But, Champ, is there anything on the schedule from the NFL schedule that you kind of liked?
Number one, the Atlanta Falcons had the best NFL schedule reveal with the Mario Kart deal. That was amazing. I think the whole Mario Kart situation was great. Look, one thing that I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see the Atlanta Falcons and what Michael Penix Jr. is going to do throughout the entire season. Not just the schedule, but throughout the entire season. And I have to be honest with you, I'm excited to see what Justin Herbert is going to do and how they're going to capitalize off that playoff season that they had last year. Because people are not only going to be talking about Dak, but they're also going to be talking about him as well. Because if you're supposed to be a top 5 quarterback in this league, then, you got to show it. Not like that game that you had, in the playoffs. So it's not just the schedule that I'm excited about. I'm excited to see what the new school players are going to end up doing. Michael Penix Jr. I'm excited to see if Jackson Dart is going to be the starting quarterback at week 1. Not to mention, I think one of the biggest injustices is that the Cleveland Browns nor the New York Giants have no primetime games. To not see the number one
Cleveland, New
overall.
Orleans, and Tennessee.
Yeah. So Cleveland, New Orleans. I don't blame them for New Orleans because, Derek Carr just, got retired due to the injuries. But to not see the first overall pick play in a primetime game, to see what he can do up under the lights, that's an injustice. And to not see what Shedeur Sanders or whoever ends up being the star quarterback of the Cleveland Browns is going to do with that already good team up under the lights. They have a hell of a draft, by the way. To not see what they're going to do up under the lights is asinine as well. So there's a few things I'm excited about. It's not one game in particular, but it's just the season overall that I'm excited to see.
Washington, they got some more primetime games. Very happy about that. It seems to me Cam Ward has been an afterthought, Champ, because we constantly talk about Ashton Jeanty. We talk about Shedeur Sanders. We talk about Shiloh Sanders. But Cam Ward, I mean, the number 1 overall pick, not even one primetime game. So pretty unfortunate in that regard. Cleveland, I am kind of surprised they not one for Cleveland, because sooner or later you're gonna see Shedeur Sanders play, because Deshaun Watson's out for the rest of the season because of the Achilles. Joe Flacco's there. but only how long is he going to be the starting quarterback? And people want to see Shedeur Sanders. Like us, we want to see Shedeur Sanders succeed, but there are others who do want to see Shedeur Sanders fail.